The night on Arctis 7 was quiet. Too quiet. Lieutenant Cole Anders walked along the edge of the human outpost, his boots crunching on the frozen snow. The air was so cold it bit through his mask. The research base behind him glowed faintly, a soft ring of light in the endless white. Cole liked this hour. Midnight patrol meant silence. No meetings. No arguments over broken power converters. Just him, the stars, and the icy wind. But that night something was different. He noticed it first as a shadow on the snow. A shape too smooth, too still to be a rock. His hand automatically moved to the stun pistol on his belt. His heart beat a little faster. He stepped closer, snow cracking under his boots. The wind howled softly. The shadow became a body. Someone was lying face down in the snow. And that someone wasn't human. Cole knelt down carefully. The figure was wrapped in a thin silver cloak, but the skin, if it could be called skin, shimmered like blue glass. Crystalline veins glowed faintly beneath the surface. Asilari, he cursed under his breath. What was an alien girl doing out here alone? Their kind rarely left their own section of the camp without escort. Her breathing was shallow. Frost covered her cloak. Cole tapped his comm. Control, this is Anders. I've got a Selari female outside perimeter gate 3. She's unconscious. I need medical here now. A burst of static. Copy that, Anders. Matim en route. EDS 6 minutes. Don't move her. Roger, 6 minutes. On Arctis 7, 6 minutes could be the difference between living and freezing solid. Cole looked down at the alien girl again. Her pulse, if the soft glow near her neck was anything to judge by, was slowing. Damn it, he muttered. He unzipped his thermal pack and pulled out his survival blanket. It was a standard issue, a thick reflective material that trapped body heat. He wrapped it around her small frame, but it wasn't enough. Her skin was icy cold. Her species had lower heat tolerance than humans. She needed warmth. Real warmth. He hesitated only a second. Then he clicked open the emergency pod he carried on every patrol, a one-man cocoon that trapped heat inside. Normally it was meant to keep him alive if something went wrong. But tonight it was going to save her. Sorry about this, Cole mumbled. He lifted her carefully. She was lighter than he expected and slid both of them inside the pod. He zipped it shut. Instantly, the warmth from his body filled the small space. Their faces were only a few inches apart. Her breath came in weak, frosty puffs. Her eyes were closed, lashes dusted with ice crystals. Her skin sparkled faintly in the dim light. Cole felt awkward. He was basically hugging a stranger, an alien stranger. But he tightened his arms around her anyway, trying to share as much heat as possible. Hang in there, he whispered. You're not dying on my watch. The wind outside roared against the pod, but inside it was warm, almost peaceful. He felt her breathing slowly steady. He didn't notice when her fingers twitched or when her luminous blue eyes opened. She stared at him silently for a long moment. He didn't realize it at first. He was too busy counting breaths, checking her pulse with a shaking hand. Then he felt it, her gaze, sharp, curious, confusingly intense. Oh, Cole said softly. You're awake. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she lifted one slender hand and touched the edge of the blanket. Her voice, when it came, was soft and musical. Bond, complete. What? Cole blinked. No, this isn't a bond. This is just, keeping you alive. Her eyes glimmered like ice catching sunlight. She tilted her head slightly, as if studying an animal that didn't know the rules of its own cage. Warmth, shared, she said slowly. Her accent was thick, her words careful. Life given. Bond made. Cole let out a nervous laugh. Okay, yeah, that's cute. But this is just first aid, all right? Emergency blanket. Medical rescue. No bonding, no, whatever this is. But she didn't seem to hear him. Or maybe she didn't care. She leaned closer, placing her forehead gently against his. Her skin was cool but not freezing anymore. The gesture was soft, almost ceremonial. Cole froze. Hey, what are you doing? Binding, she whispered. Before Cole could argue again, a voice cracked through the comm. Anders, we're at the gate. Where are you? He let out a breath of relief. Right here, he said. Pod deployed. She's stable. Copy, we see your beacon. A moment later, floodlights cut through the storm. 2 medics rushed toward him, their boots crunching on the ice. They unzipped the pod and carefully lifted the alien girl onto a floating stretcher. Cole climbed out behind them, blinking in the harsh light. The girl's eyes never left him. Even as they covered her in warming gel and hooked up med tubes, she kept staring. There was something unreadable in that gaze, not fear, not confusion, something heavier. "Good job, Anders," one medic said. "You saved her life. Pulse is strong." "Yeah," Cole said, rubbing his hands together. "Happy to help." But as the medics carried her away, she reached out. Her hand brushed his. "Mate," she whispered. Cole's heart skipped. "Wait, what?" But the medics were already moving. Her voice was lost in the wind. 2 hours later, Cole sat in the warm mess hall, hands wrapped around a mug of synthetic coffee. The storm outside was still raging, snow hammering the dome like a drum. He replayed the moment over and over in his head. Mate, did she actually say that? Or was it the cold messing with his ears? He was still thinking about it when Captain Ramirez walked in. She was tall, serious, and had the look of someone who'd fought a dozen battles and didn't have patience for nonsense. "Lieutenant," she said, sliding into the seat across from him. "You had quite a night." "Yeah," Cole said, taking a sip of coffee. "Found a Solari girl outside. Frostbite, got her into the pod. She'll be fine." "I know," Ramirez said. "She's stable. But we've got a situation." Cole frowned. "What kind of situation?" Ramirez leaned forward. "Her name is Lyra Selen. She's not just some Solari girl. She's the heir of the Solari Council." Cole nearly choked on his drink. "Wait, she's royalty?" "Basically," Ramirez said dryly. "And apparently you've done something that in their culture means you two are bonded." Cole stared at her. "Bonded? No, I just shared a blanket. To keep her alive." Ramirez raised an eyebrow. "Yeah. Turns out to Solari, sharing body heat under one cover is not just friendly. It's a marriage ritual." Cole dropped his head into his hands. "Oh, great. So I'm married now." "Technically," Ramirez said, smirking slightly. "You're the consort of an alien princess. This isn't funny." "Oh, it's hilarious," Ramirez said. "But also political. Her people already sent a message. They're requesting an official bonding ceremony." Cole's eyes widened. "What?" "Yeah," Ramirez said, standing. "Welcome to interspecies diplomacy, Anders. Try not to offend your new in-laws." Meanwhile, Solari Quarters Lyra lay in a warm room wrapped in soft silver cloth. Her attendant spoke softly around her, but she barely listened. Her mind was fixed on the human Cole. Warmth, shared breath. The seal was made. Their traditions were older than stars, and the act was clear. To lie under one cover, to offer warmth freely. It was the Solari vow of life bond. She remembered his arms around her. His heartbeat. The way he'd spoken softly. Even though he didn't understand the weight of his actions. He was strange. Rough around the edges. His words were short, not like the flowing language of her people. But his warmth had kept her alive when the storm would have taken her. That was what mattered. The council would question. The elders would debate. But she already knew her answer. He was hers. And she was his. Back in the mess hall, Cole sat alone, staring at the last sip of coffee in his mug. He didn't want to be bonded. He didn't even know this girl. He just wanted a quiet patrol shift and maybe a nap. But now he was part of something bigger. Something complicated, something that could either create peace between species or start a war if handled wrong. He looked up at the ceiling, muttering to himself. All because of a stupid blanket. Outside, the storm raged on. But somewhere in the alien wing of the outpost, a princess believed she had just found her mate. And Cole had no idea how much his life was about to change. The next morning, Cole woke up with a headache. He wasn't sure what hurt more, the memory of last night or the reality waiting for him outside his room. The base's corridors buzzed with gossip. Soldiers whispered. Engineers smirked. Even the cook gave him a knowing smile as he passed by. It was as if everyone already knew. "Morning, Your Highness," someone muttered as he walked by. Cole ignored it. He just wanted a quiet breakfast. Maybe if he pretended hard enough, the entire alien marriage thing would disappear. But when he reached the mess hall, Captain Ramirez was waiting for him with a face that said trouble. "Sit," she said. Cole sat. She pushed a datapad across the table. A Solari crest flashed on the screen. "They've sent a formal request," Cole frowned. "A request for what?" "For a bonding ceremony," Ramirez said. "Apparently last night was just the engagement." Cole stared at her. "You've got to be kidding me." "I wish I was," she said. "Their envoy is arriving in 3 hours. They want to meet the chosen mate of Lyra Selen." "That's you." Cole buried his face in his hands. I just shared a blanket. And now you're marrying a princess, Ramirez said dryly. Congratulations. The alien wing Lyra Selen stood in front of a mirror made of smooth crystal. Her hair shimmered like liquid light. Her skin glowed softly, the mark of the bond still warm on her forehead. In her culture, this was a holy sign, a symbol of shared life. And she was proud of it. 2 attendants fixed silver threads into her ceremonial robes. A third placed a circlet above her head. She held still, her expression calm and determined. She thought of Cole. He was not like the Solari. His voice was rough, his movements unrefined, his words short. But there was something in him, a fire, a strange human strength. He didn't understand the bond yet, but that didn't matter. He would. He had to. Today would be the first meeting between their families. Between 2 worlds. Meeting of 2 species. The conference room was built for diplomacy. Long table, smooth walls, banners from both species. At one end sat the human officers. At the other, tall, elegant Solari elders in robes that shimmered like starlight. Cole sat at the human side, very aware of the fact that everyone was watching him. His uniform suddenly felt too tight. Then the door opened. Lyra entered, walking gracefully, head held high. She wore silver ceremonial robes and a calm, royal expression. Cole nearly choked on his water. She looked nothing like the half-frozen girl he'd dragged out of the snow last night. She looked like someone from another world, untouchable, glowing, proud. Lyra stopped in front of the Solari elders and bowed. Then she turned to Cole. Her eyes softened a little. Mate, she said gently, her voice carrying through the room like a bell. Cole turned red. Hi. A murmur ran through the human side of the room. Ramirez gave him a sharp look, the kind that said, behave or die. The Solari elder at the center stood. He was tall, with glowing blue veins and a sharp gaze. I am Elder Thalen, he said. We greet the one who has bonded with our heir. Cole tried to stand, but his legs didn't cooperate. Hi, greetings. I didn't mean to, Ramirez coughed loudly. Cole corrected. I'm honored. The elder gave a slow, approving nod. The bond of warmth is sacred. You have chosen Lyra Selen, and she has accepted. This is a great honor. Cole opened his mouth to explain that he hadn't chosen anything, but Ramirez kicked his boot under the table. Elder Thalen continued. The bonding ceremony will take place under the twin moons according to our traditions. Until then, you will remain close to her. As is custom, Cole blinked. Close? Yes, the elder said calmly. A bond cannot grow from distance. Lyra stepped closer to Cole and sat beside him, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. The warmth of her presence made him freeze. Learning alien traditions over the next few days, Cole had no time to breathe. Wherever he went, Lyra was there. If he went to breakfast, she sat with him. If he worked in the hangar, she stood quietly watching. If he tried to escape to the gym, she followed. It wasn't that she was annoying. She was quiet, elegant, always curious. But she was also very close. Too close. Don't humans bond through touch? She asked one afternoon while they were walking through the base garden. Cole almost tripped. What? I have observed, she said seriously. When humans are close, they hold hands. Or embrace. Do we not do that now? Cole's ears burned. We don't. It's complicated, she tilted her head. No, it is simple. She reached out and gently took his hand. The world seemed to stop. Her hand was cool but soft, glowing faintly under the pale light. Cole's brain forgot how to work. She looked up at him with calm, serious eyes. Now it is done. Cole made a strangled noise. Lyra, she smiled. A real small, warm smile. It wasn't royal. It wasn't formal. It was just her. And for the first time, Cole didn't pull away. Culture clash, of course, not everyone was happy. Not all Solari approved of their heir bonding with a human. Some whispered in the halls, their faces sharp with disapproval. Others openly questioned the bond. One evening, while Cole was leaving the training deck, 2 Solari soldiers approached him. You do not belong here, human, one said coldly. Cole sighed. Not this again. She is heir to the council, the second one added. You are not worthy. Cole raised his hands. Hey, I didn't even plan this. I just gave her a blanket. The first soldier narrowed his eyes. Then perhaps it is time you return it and leave. Cole didn't back down. Sorry, I don't run just because someone doesn't like me. Before things could escalate, a voice rang out. Enough. Lyra stepped forward, calm but firm. She faced the two Solari soldiers with quiet strength. He saved my life. His warmth is my bond. If you disrespect him, you disrespect me. The soldiers lowered their heads slightly, ashamed, and walked away. Cole let out a breath. Thanks, Lyra looked at him. We stand together. He didn't know what to say to that. Rising tension, a week later, everything changed. It started with a strange power surge across the colony. Lights flickered. Alarms beeped softly. It wasn't serious at first, just small malfunctions. Then the security grid went down. Ramirez called an emergency meeting. Cole sat beside Lyra at the table, this time without arguing. A big screen showed a blinking red line near the western power sector. Someone cut through the outer shield, Ramirez said grimly. This wasn't an accident. Elder Thalen stood. This is an attack. Cole's stomach tightened. Whoever did this wasn't trying to steal power. They wanted to hurt the colony. Who would attack us? A technician asked. Someone who doesn't want humans and Solari working together, Ramirez replied. Cole looked at Lyra. For the first time, her calm mask slipped a little. She looked worried. Under fire, the attack came at night. A group of unknown saboteurs, masked, fast armed, breached the western wall. Explosions lit the snow outside. The alarms howled across the base. Cole grabbed his gear and ran. To his surprise, Lyra was already there, wearing light Solari combat armor, her crystalline skin glowing faintly like a lantern. You're not staying here, Cole said quickly. She lifted her chin. You are my bond. I stand with you, Cole sighed. There was no stopping her. Fine, stay close. Together they ran toward the outer wall, the first battle. The saboteurs weren't a large group, but they were fast and well coordinated. Smoke filled the icy air. A security drone exploded above their heads. Cole ducked behind a crate, firing his stun rifle. Lyra knelt beside him, pressing her glowing palms against the ground. Energy shimmered, forming a transparent barrier in front of them. Whoa, Cole said. You can do that? She didn't look at him. Stay behind me, Cole grinned. I like your style. The fight was fast and cold. Humans and Solari soldiers fought side by side. Lyra moved like flowing light, calm, deadly, graceful. Cole used every bit of training he had, throwing flash grenades, sealing doors, rerouting power. At one point, a saboteur aimed at Lyra's back. Cole lunged without thinking, tackling her out of the way. The shot missed them both by inches. They fell into the snow, breathing hard, faces close. For a second, neither spoke. Snowflakes melted against their skin. Then Lyra whispered, Bond strong. Cole rolled his eyes. You're impossible. But he didn't move away. Aftermath by dawn, the attackers were captured or driven off. The base was damaged but safe. The Solari elders and the human officers gathered in the main hall to assess the situation. Ramirez clapped Cole on the shoulder. Good work out there, Anders. Elder Thalen spoke slowly. The human fought bravely. He stood with our heir. He has shown strength. Lyra stood beside him, quiet but proud. He is my mate, she said clearly. I will stand with him. A wave of whispers spread through the crowd. Some still disapproved, but others nodded, seeing what had happened with their own eyes. Cole didn't say anything. He just met Lyra's glowing gaze. For the first time, the bond between them didn't feel like an accident. It felt real. People rushed through the corridors. Engineers carried power cores. Soldiers checked their weapons. Solari guardians moved silently in silver armor. Everyone knew the first attack had only been the beginning. Captain Ramirez stood in the command center, staring at the blinking red marks on the screen. They're regrouping, she said. This wasn't just sabotage. It's a full-scale assault. Cole leaned against the table, exhausted but alert. Who are they? Ramirez shook her head. Still unknown. But they don't want our people working together. They want to break this alliance. Lyra stood beside Cole, tall and calm. Her crystal skin caught the cold light. Then we must not break. Cole glanced at her. She looked like a queen, strong and unshaken. But he knew she was just as worried as he was. Elder Thalen's voice echoed through the room. Their forces move fast. They will be here before sunset. If the shield wall falls, both our species will suffer. Ramirez crossed her arms. We're short on power. The outer defenses can't hold for long. Cole's mind began to race. He wasn't a soldier like Ramirez or a leader like Thalen, but he was an engineer. And engineers solved problems. We still have the geothermal vents, Cole said. If we reroute the heat and pressure through the maintenance lines, we could make a trap. Ramirez raised an eyebrow. A trap? Cole nodded. The attackers will head straight for the shield wall. If we build heat vents under the snow, we can make the ground boil beneath their feet. It won't kill them, but it'll throw them off. Elder Thalen tilted his head. A clever idea. Human, Cole smirked. Yeah, well, we humans are full of surprises. Lyra stepped closer. I will stand at the front line, she said firmly. Where the Bond fights, I fight. Cole looked at her, worry flashing in his chest. Lyra, this is going to be dangerous. Her voice was soft but steady. Then we stand together, preparing for battle. The next hours were chaos. Cole and a team of engineers crawled through freezing tunnels, installing vents and pressure plates. Snow fell through cracks above their heads. The cold was sharp, biting their fingers even through gloves. Above ground, human soldiers built barricades while Solari guardians traced glowing runes in the snow, setting up energy shields. Ramirez coordinated everything with a loud, steady voice, and through it all, Lyra stayed beside Cole. When he crawled through pipes, she handed him tools. When he checked the power levels, she scanned with her glowing hands. When he doubted the plan, she touched his arm gently and said, We will win. Cole didn't know when it happened, but somewhere between fear and exhaustion, he stopped seeing her as just an alien princess who thought they were bonded. She had become his partner. Before the storm hours later, the entire colony stood ready. A line of humans and Solari stretched across the outer wall. The twin moons began to rise, bathing the frozen battlefield in pale silver light. Cole adjusted his thermal armor. The vents were ready. The traps were armed. The weapons were loaded. He tried to steady his breathing. Beside him, Lyra wore battle robes made of shining silver fiber. Her hands glowed with pale energy. She looked fearless. You're too calm, Cole said quietly. She tilted her head. Because we will win. Cole gave a shaky laugh. You sound pretty sure. I trust my mate, she said simply. He stared at her for a second. Then he nodded. Yeah, I trust you too. A loud alarm suddenly echoed across the base. A soldier shouted, They're here! And the final attack dark shapes moved on the horizon, fast and organized. Dozens of figures in black suits carrying energy rifles charged across the snow. Their ships hovered in the distance, casting shadows like sharp knives. Ramirez's voice cut through the comm. All units, hold positions. Do not fire until my mark. The wind howled. Cole could feel his heartbeat in his throat. He wasn't a frontline soldier. He fixed machines. But now he stood in a line of warriors waiting for a storm. The first wave hit the shield wall like a hammer. Energy sparks flew. The enemy pressed forward. Now! Ramirez shouted. Cole pressed the trigger. The vents roared to life. Steam and boiling air exploded from beneath the snow, turning the white battlefield into a foggy storm. The attackers stumbled, their ranks breaking. Some fell. Others screamed in shock. The human soldiers opened fire. Solari guardians unleashed glowing blasts of energy, their runes lighting up the night. Lyra moved like a streak of silver light, her hands creating shields and strikes with elegant precision. Cole stayed close, firing his stun rifle, covering her blind spots. For a moment, it actually looked like they were winning. Then the enemy brought out heavy weapons. A huge energy cannon emerged from the fog, aimed directly at the shield wall. If it fired, the barrier would fall. Ramirez yelled into the comm. We need someone to disable that cannon now. Cole looked at the glowing barrel and made a decision without thinking. I'm going. Lyra grabbed his arm. No. He smiled at her nervously. Yeah, you will die. Not if you cover me. Her jaw tightened. Then slowly she nodded. We go together. A dangerous run. They sprinted through the fog and steam, ducking under laser fire. Snow exploded around them. Cole's boots slipped, but Lyra steadied him with a strong hand. Her energy shield blocked a shot that would have hit his chest. They reached the cannon. It was massive, humming with unstable power. 2 attackers guarded the control panel. Lyra moved first, fast as light, knocking one down with a glowing strike. Cole slammed the other with the butt of his rifle. "Cover me!" he shouted. Lyra raised her hands, creating a wide shield around them. Energy beams bounced off the barrier like sparks. Cole pulled open the panel. His hand shook as he saw the wires. Come on, come on. This wasn't a friendly machine. It was alien tech, but engineering had its language. He followed the power lines, found the core, and pulled two red cables apart. The cannon gave a high-pitched scream and died. The attackers nearby turned confused. Lyra didn't give them a chance. She raised her hands and sent out a pulse of blue light that pushed them back like a wave. Cole let out a breath. "Nice work, Princess," she gave him a small smile. "Nice work, mate." Turning the tide with the cannon down, the defenders pushed forward. Human drones circled overhead, dropping stun grenades. Celery warriors unleashed beams of glowing blue. Cole and Lyra ran back toward the wall side by side. The air was filled with light, smoke, and the crunch of boots on snow. Ramirez's voice roared through the comm. "Push them back." For the first time, humans and Celari fought as one. No whispers, no doubt. Just unity. When an enemy soldier tried to flank them, Lyra blocked the attack with her glowing shield while Cole shot the soldier down. When a blast threatened to break their line, Cole rerouted a vent to explode under their feet. Their teamwork was perfect, fast, and real. And as the battle raged, Cole felt something strange. Not fear, not even panic. He felt alive. The last stand. The enemy began to retreat, their lines broken, their cannon destroyed. But one final ship hovered low, preparing to fire at the base. Cole's eyes widened. If that ship fires, everything's gone. Ramirez shouted orders, but no one had a clear shot. Then Lyra stepped forward. "What are you doing?" Cole asked. She looked at him. "Ending this." Before he could stop her, she stepped out of the line, lifted both hands, and let out a soft cry in her language. The air around her shimmered like water. Her body glowed bright blue. A massive beam of pure celery energy shot up into the sky, striking the ship's weapon core. The ship wobbled, lost control, and spun away into the night. The battlefield fell silent. Then the humans cheered. The Solari lifted their heads high. The enemy fled into the darkness, defeated. After the battle, the base was damaged but standing. Snow blew softly over the smoking field. Engineers moved quickly to repair the shield. Soldiers helped the wounded. Cole walked through the snow, exhausted but alive. He found Lyra standing alone near the vent field, her robes torn, her skin glowing faintly. "You okay?" he asked. She turned to him, smiling softly. "Yes, because we stood together." He let out a long breath. "You're crazy, you know that?" She tilted her head. "You call your mate crazy?" He laughed. A real laugh. "Yeah, but in a good way." She stepped closer, close enough that he could see the soft light in her eyes. "Cole Anders," she said quietly. "When I woke in your arms, I believed the bond was just tradition. But now, I believe it is real," he swallowed. "I didn't choose it at first. I know, but I'm choosing now." For the first time, Lyra smiled fully. Not royal, not formal, but real. She reached out and touched his hand. Fingers cool against his skin, and Cole didn't pull away. A new legend weeks later. People still talked about the night of the attack. The humans told stories about how they outsmarted the enemy with boiling vents. The Celari told stories about the heir who fought with a human, mate. And everyone talked about the night too. Different species stood side by side and won. Cole still hated being called "Your Highness" as a joke. But when Lyra walked beside him, proud and strong, he didn't mind so much. Because their bond wasn't just an accident anymore. It was a choice. A promise. And it all started with one stupid blanket.